Yellow!
Yellow!
Get a quote on Yellow and save yourself the runaround with 1.57 million business listings online across Australia.
Yellow!
Our quote feature will help you find and choose the best business for your job.
Yellow!
Share details and photos via chat to help quote the job without the hassle.
Yellow!
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 Need it? Yellow has it.
Yellow!
Find, choose, connect at yellowpages.com.au.
Yellow!
Yellow!
Well, good afternoon everybody and welcome to this special Yellow Live webinar from the Yellow Pages head office here in Melbourne. Joining me today is Nick Padilla. How are you, Nick?
Doing well. How are you, Christian?
I'm super. So my name is Christian Lydiard and I'm one of the National Sales Managers. And the purpose of today's webinar is really to help small businesses across Australia get a fresh take on SEO. Now, Nick, SEO is one of those terms that most small business owners will hear spoken of. It's frequent. In fact, I'd almost put money on it that every small business owner watching today receives at least one email a week from somebody somewhere around the world promising them position on SEO, right?
Exactly.
So what's happening is a lot of people are becoming quite skeptical and low trust when it comes to this topic of SEO. SEO is a real thing though, right?
Oh, definitely. As long as Google has a product, SEO is important for you to have. You need to be that answer that people are searching for.
Okay. So Nick, there's a couple of things that we're going to cover today, and our sales and service team members across Australia are actually joining with our customers. So if you're joining us, I hope there's an opportunity for us to provide you some really great insights and some takeaways. So beyond the conversation, I encourage you to talk to the sales and service representative that's working with you to really tailor a solution that may be ideal for your business. So there's a couple of things that we're going to cover today. Why is SEO so important? How SEO works, the Yellow SEO difference, and of course, what's next. So let's jump into it, Nick. What is SEO?
SEO, oftentimes people think of it as some magic button that you select on a website and you end up being on the first page of Google. Really, SEO is the work that's required for you to be able to be found on Google. So there's certain things and techniques that we can do to help you become found on Google. What that means is there's certain locations on Google where people select majority of the time. So everybody's familiar with the paid ads that at the top of the screen. There's an ads portion. People pay to get there. Below there's the map section, and then below there is the organic section. 84% of the online users actually click on this organic section. We know that this is valuable because in the long run, you want to be there because you're not paying to be there. Once if you have worked with SEO for a long time, you can stay there for a long time, and it's a long-term investment rather than paying for an ad that can go away when you stop paying.
Okay, so ultimately SEO is really about improving a small business owner's website presence online. You mentioned Google. Of course, there's other search engines as well, so it's important that people can be found by as many people when they're looking. One of the reasons why SEO is so important today, of course, is just how much search traffic there is. So if we think back 20 years ago, there literally was no internet, right?
Nothing,
but today, there's so much search that happens. Staggering numbers, right? Every second, there is 40,000 searches occurring on Google. And as you mentioned before, the majority are actually clicking on the natural or the organic traffic.
Exactly, exactly. And it comes down to trust. And we are trusting Google to provide the best answer for us to click on. So Google's really trying to focus on who deserves to be on the first page in that organic section.
Now, Nick, you're a partner of Yellow's, right? So you work for a company called Boostability.
Exactly.
So Boostability is one of the largest SEO providers in North America, and you guys are experts in this space, right? So when we talk about search volumes in general, do you think that, is search continuing to grow, or are we reaching a point of maturity now where it's sort of plateauing in the number of people that are searching and how often people search?
I think it's only going to increase. We are becoming more mobile with anything. Our phones we're able to access anything on the internet through our phones. We can ask a question at our home, and we have smart devices that will ask questions to the internet and provide those answers. So it's only going to increase, and over time we just need to make sure that we're ready and prepared for it.
So generally in Australia, mobile phone and smartphone usage is very, very high. In fact, there was a time where we were only second to South Korea
Oh, wow.
for smartphone ownership. So it's really the frequency, sorry, the frequency is increasing, but the duration people are spending online is getting shorter and shorter, right? So we're just doing it more frequently.
Exactly. Any time that you have the opportunity to be doing anything, you're on your phone. You think about whether or not you're on the phone at a restaurant, trying to figure out which restaurant to go to or what things to do in a certain area. I mean, we're visiting from the States, and we needed to figure out which restaurant to go to. I think 4 or 5 searches later, we figured out where to go to last night. So it is prominent, and it's something that we don't even think about anymore.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the process of search engine optimization. So there are a couple of different techniques and things that are spoken about, but you've basically got work that happens on a site and work that happens off the site. Tell us a little bit about on-site SEO.
So on-site SEO comes down to 2 things that we like to look at. There is on-site, or something that you're able to see visually, and then there's the back end of the website. Oftentimes we refer to that as the source code. We need to make sure that with the visual portion of your website, you are the answer. You are providing an actual service or an answer to any question that anybody asks. And then on the back end, we need to make sure that the usability for Google to come onto your website or any other search engine, they can come on and read and understand exactly what's going on your website.
So in order for a business to be effective in this space, it's really important that they are proactive with optimizing their site on a regular basis, right? They shouldn't just wait until they've got to make a change.
Exactly.
It's got to be proactive work on the site.
Think of a website as your storefront. If you have a store that's been neglected, Google will recognize that, and they'll notice that people who are coming to your website aren't really investigating or going further into more pages. Or if you have a good storefront, they're going deeper and learning more about it, good things will happen. So you need to make sure you refresh that content. Add something that provides an answer for the end user.
And relevance is key, right?
All
so
day.
It's all about relevance and making sure you're the most relevant answer. I like the way you said that, of course, to the query that somebody might be putting into the search engine. Then we've got the off-site SEO. So this is all about building trust. How do people go about that?
So the way that we like to look at trust is, it's a number of websites pointing back to your website saying, I vote that this website is of value or is bringing value to the internet or value to a specific industry. So it's very important for you to have a plethora of different options of links pointing back to your website that show that you are that answer that people are looking for. You need to have a diverse type of link portfolio that points back to your website that gains trust in the search engine's eyes and puts you higher up.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about on-site relevance. So on-site SEO is all about what people see on the screen, but also what's behind the screen. So we won't get into too many of the technical aspects here, but really it's about making it quite, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Desirable in the eyes of Google, right?
Exactly.
So things like pictures have to be described not only in a description, but behind the scenes, right?
Exactly. So Google, they're smart, and they're getting smarter every year, but you need to make sure that there are certain tasks or sections kind of itemized so that they can understand what's happening. If there's a picture of a boy running with a dog, have a description stating that it's a boy running with a dog, and that will help Google understand more. There are several other locations in a website, such as the title tag or the H1, we'll be able to go in depth another time, that really help Google understand more about your website.
Okay. Now, one of the things that I guess people would be experiencing potentially with their website today, and lots of people will invest, our small business customers, some of them have invested serious money into developing a website, but often these technical aspects are overlooked because they're not necessarily around design.
Exactly.
So sometimes there can be really great graphic designers, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Oftentimes you can have a beautiful website. You could have spent thousands of dollars trying to create the best storefront, but you need to make sure that it's organized in a certain way for both the user and Google to be able to crawl that website and understand it in an easy way.
Okay.
And that's something that everybody needs to do.
Now, good SEO is a little bit like word of mouth, isn't it?
Exactly.
So it's about building trust. So some of the ways that we build trust off-site, you mentioned are around links, but there's different things that you want to consider a part of the mix, blogs, articles. We've got a few of those on the screen now, but what are some of the things that people should be mindful of when it comes to trust?
So when it comes to trust, you need to make sure that the websites that you're getting this trust from are a valuable source and are in the same industry as you. And you need to make sure that they're pointing back to you in an appropriate manner. So there are specific things that you want to look for. Are they speaking about the industry that you're in? Are they using some of the keywords that you want to be affiliated with?
Yes.
Are there other pages that kind of reference the same industry as yourself?
Mm-hmm.
When you have all of these boxes checked off, good things can happen. And that's the benefit of using some of the SEO services that we provide is we create a natural link portfolio that points back to your website, that looks natural and interacts with your website in a way that Google recognizes you as a trusted member of the Internet Society.
Nick, you know, I guess because small business owners are getting so many people promising them things on Google, and it's worth adding, right, that Google is very clear in their own guidelines about people making promises. So the moment someone is guaranteeing you something, what should you do to them?
You should run away. You should get as much distance between you and them as possible because there's no such thing as guarantees.
Yeah.
But you can optimize your website to become the best answer, and that's what Google wants, is you to become the best answer.
And frequently, I guess some of the mistakes that people can get caught in is that if they are using a provider that's not doing the right thing, those nasty links can actually impact a website, right?
Yeah, exactly. Some of the old SEO techniques can come back now and can bite you. You need to make sure that you understand what your provider is doing so that you can see what happens in the future with the updates that Google is constantly going through.
Okay, so ultimately it's about creating relevance on the page, on the website, to make it relevant to the types of things that the business wants to work on. Then you've got trust, which is a part of the recipe. And those things come together really to be the best answer, and that's how you get extra referrals and more traffic through your website.
Exactly, that's the case. And really that's when Google becomes your messenger, telling people to go to you, and you can become that answer that people are looking for. They become the machine that's providing you these referrals, and that's exactly what you want. There's, you know, people trust, sometimes they trust their friends to where to go to eat, to where to go to visit, but you need to remember that Google oftentimes has reviews and will give you the best answer that you need, and I go to Google sometimes more than I go to my friends when I have questions.
Or even to validate that, right?
Exactly.
Now, small business owners and people with a website really should be optimizing on an ongoing basis. So this is a really good little analogy, right? It's a little bit like going to the gym in that you have to keep working on it, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I personally don't have too much experience when it comes to going to the gym, but the analogy is perfect. It takes time for you to be able to have a healthy website, we'd say. It's going to take months for you to become healthy and for Google to recognize that you're strong in your industry. But just like going to the gym, if you go for a year straight and then, you know, a month, 2 months drop off and you're not doing anything with your website, those rankings that you had, or those gains, as some people would call it, you know what, you're going to end up falling down, and you're not going to have the same rankings that you had before. So it's very similar to going to the gym.
So just like going to the gym, this is long-term investment for long-term gain. So when you're thinking about your marketing mix, this is really a strategy to be an always-on program to support the way your business is being found online. It takes some time and energy to get the best results, and that's the practice of SEO.
Exactly, and you can't stop going. You can't stop, or else you're going to lose what you had once had. Okay.
So what we're going to do now is throw to a quick video, Nick, with two of our SEO experts. So we're going to hear from Matt now and from Michael, a few of the SEO myth busting.
Great, now it's time for some SEO myth busting, and I've got Matt here, SEO strategist, globally renowned. Voice. Underneath the Christmas tree last year, there were heaps and heaps of Google Home devices. I definitely got a few. I hear SEO's dead. Where's SEO up to, and how does it work with voice?
So when was the last time you did a Google search?
Today.
Today? Were there still rankings there? Were there still companies
there
listed?
There were.
There were, right?
Of course.
So that tells me that it's not dead, because companies still need to rank. Companies still need to be found. Now with voice, it's changing a little bit. The search engines have never changed their goal. They want to provide us with a great product. But as technology evolves, as we can speak into our phones, as we can talk to our Google Homes, to Alexa, and do searches this way, Google's had to adapt because now we're asking questions. We're not searching with a single keyword anymore, where it's just emergency plumber. We're asking our phone, who is the best emergency plumber in my area? So we need to, every company needs to adapt the content on their site to match those types of searches.
I think that's a really good point, and often we talk about making sure you're there when people are ready to buy, but what I'm hearing is with these questions, you need to bring it back to the funnel a bit and make sure you're a part of that conversation that happens before. In relation to keywords and the questions, what do you actually do with it from a website point of view? What should you do to improve the SEO performance?
So what you should do is it's all about the content on your site. First off, having a great user-friendly website, making sure you have relevant content. In the past, there were a lot of cheap tricks you could do in terms of just throwing keywords on the site to trick your way up to the top. Now, the content you read is almost more of a conversation. People are reading that, they're taking that in, they're posting it on social media, they're sharing it, and everything is becoming a conversation. So our content needs to reflect that same type of conversation.
So it's another really good segue. Social media report we just recently launched. We can see that social media technically isn't an SEO factor itself, but how can you leverage social media to assist or be a part of SEO?
How you can leverage it is by having a solid social media campaign with an SEO campaign. You need to rank on the search engines, as well as have a solid social campaign. People are going to comment. They're going to want to see that. They're looking at reviews. So although they're not necessarily intertwined, where Facebook is affecting your organic rankings too much, you as a business owner, you need to consider having both of them running at the same time.
Cool. And then when we look at things like, we come from Yellow. We started the Yellow online business directory, the first in the world in '94, before Google even existed. And we know that Yellow ranks really well and it gets a lot of presence on the first page of Google. Is it good for SEO?
Yeah, business citations are part of part of the basics for any SEO campaign.
What would our competitors say?
What your competitors would say is that they're important. Your competitors probably list a lot of their businesses on those directories because they see the value of it. There are some directories that you don't want to be on that are poor quality, but a valued, trusted source like Yellow is a company that you should be listed on.
Okay, and let's talk about competition in another level. And I understand that everyone wants to be on the first page of Google, and it is really hard for everyone to fit. So, from a competition point of view, what would we suggest businesses do who are not yet serious about SEO?
The number one advice I can give to any business owner is to act now. The longer you wait to start an SEO campaign, the longer you wait to create a social media presence, the longer it will be before you see the results, and the farther and farther you'll be behind. Because it's something that more and more business owners are realizing they need to do, and they're acting. So act now, because if you don't, you're just going to get caught behind.
Cool, Matt, thanks for your time, and hopefully we busted some myths there for you.
Some really interesting tips there from Matt.
Matt is awesome. It's good to hear his answers and how simple he keeps it. And that's how SEO is. It's a simple answer for everybody.
Yeah, so things like voice, something to be aware of course, and voice, again, it's all about making sure that you've got great content on your website, that you are proactively servicing your website to add fresh content on a regular basis.
Yeah, you're making sure that copy supports the industry that you want to rank for. And some of the questions that people might have just about your website or your company or the services you provide.
Yeah, and keywords, of course, are tied back to making sure that you've got the right content to begin with.
Exactly.
All right, so Nick, let's change direction a little bit and talk more specifically about what Yellow can do and some of the technology that we've got. So Yellow SEO is a service that we've had for almost 5 years now.
Almost 5 years.
And there are some things that really set us apart when it comes to how we provide SEO services across Australia. So some of those things are the high quality work, and then we say more work. Why do we say that?
We say more work because the cost that we have on an hourly basis. So specifically, it's 1 hour is $50, and the industry standard around Australia is $75 to $150 an hour. So we're able to perform more work at a higher quality just because we're not as expensive option that's out there.
And that's a really good point, right?
Yeah.
So SEO is not an automated process.
Not at all.
The first thing is it's actual people doing actual work to improve the quality of a website and the things off the website.
You're correct.
Now, transparency. So this is a big one, and this is probably something that we experience a lot where people have signed up for programs and they've got low confidence because they're really not sure what's going on. What do we offer to make sure our customers are comfortable and confident that Yellow can actually deliver the right solution?
We have a reporting dashboard that is amazing. It shows what we're doing, your current rankings. You can break it down into each month, each service, or each task that we created. You can compare all of the hours that we did, that we worked on, and break it apart into how we created a specific link portfolio for you. You can also see your Google Analytics there. We have an API call with Google Analytics where you can track what's happening on your website so you can understand more about how SEO is actually affecting the traffic that's coming onto your website. We're very transparent. We're proud of the work that we do, and we show it to you. We've been traveling around Australia this last 2 weeks, and knowing a lot about the competition that we have in Australia, a lot of times they're not showing what's going on. I asked for reports for us to be able to see what the competition's doing, and oftentimes it's a screenshot of another reporting site, where with us we're showing our work, we're showing the keywords, the rankings, the graphs, anything and everything that has to do with your website, so you have zero questions about what's happening. Oftentimes, with anybody who's had SEO in the past, they come to us with concerns because they don't know what's going on, and they've had months or years paying for the service, and they don't know what happened, and they've lost that trust with that company.
So Yellow SEO really is a full service offering, right? So that means that we're doing work on the site and off the site, and you can see both of those activities in this reporting portal, right?
Exactly. A couple of instances that we had this week, and I'm sure there are a lot of you that have had this problem, where you might have a friend or a colleague that knows SEO, but they're only making changes onto your website. And as we spoke in the last couple of slides, it's about two areas. It's that yin and yang approach. It's both offsite and offsite. You need to have trust just as much as you have being relevant. And that's why we offer that full service, because you need it.
Now, one of the key ingredients to the Yellow SEO program is technology, right? So it's not just good enough to have great people. Great people do the work and go a long, long way. But we have amazing technology, right? And that technology is continuing to audit those keywords and the work that needs to be done so that we can identify and really maximize the opportunity, right? So talk a little bit about the technology for us.
You're right. Once we have your website inside of our system, we have a 24/7 auditing system that's understanding more about your website. It will tell us if there's any problems that have been identified that we need to make changes right now. And that's something that one individual or even a group of people, they need to be constantly viewing your website when it's renewing its domain, anything and everything that could possibly come up. Sometimes those can slip through the cracks when you have an agency type feel and you don't have an actual good technology behind you supporting the services that you provide.
So we've got a couple of screenshots. We've got one up there now, Nick. So in the platform, you can see the actions and the activities that are occurring. You can break that down on a monthly basis so that you can see what labor, so what actual humans have done to improve your website. The other thing we have, of course, is the reporting. So the reporting is dynamic. It gives a small business owner the opportunity to understand how they're performing for both their main keywords and areas of focus, but also supplementary keywords, right? Halo keywords and the effect there. One of the things that we often hear is people say, I want to work on hundreds of keywords. What would we say about that?
Oftentimes, we're not understanding the value of those keywords. Sometimes one keyword might be more valuable than 1,000 keywords. It's just understanding which market we're targeting. When we say we're focusing maybe on a couple of keywords or 4 or 5, it really means that we're specifically targeting that in the campaign that we're working on. But we're really focusing on hundreds of keywords because all of those other keywords or subjects or long tail keywords, if you want to get deep into it, all relate to the main keyword that we're focusing on. So having this report show a variety of keywords that are all related to the main terms that we're targeting overall, your ranking will increase for all of them because they're all related.
Yeah. Now, Nick, I'd like to talk a little bit about what a small business owner can expect from Yellow SEO. So I know a lot of the customers that are joining us today are absolutely looking to improve the quality of their website. They're looking for performance. Now, I said earlier that Google does not endorse anybody to guarantee, right? So we're not making any guarantees here, but one of the things that we're really, really proud of at Yellow is our past performance. So tell us a little bit about past performance with Yellow and what we're doing for the clients that we manage our SEO programs for today. And then just talk us through this road mapping, what a customer could expect from their Yellow SEO performance.
Definitely. It's good to see our performance and what we've been able to achieve in the last couple of years. As of today, 93% of keywords that we have in our system for Yellow SEO reach page 1 within 6 months. That is not a guarantee, that is strictly what we've been able to achieve. We've done that because we have a system behind us and we know and understand how Google works. And it works in this way, and if we can set up every single one of our campaigns with these expectations, that's how we achieve the 93%.
Yeah. And there's those quality controls too, right? So,
of course.
you know, Yellow in Australia, we've been around a long time, 138 years. So for us, making sure that we have great solutions for our customers here in Australia and authentic programs are critical. So let's bring this roadmap up again. So over a period of 6 months, there are a variety of things we do. Of course, it starts with a welcome call and campaign management, things like keyword research.
Yeah, so keyword research, we're trying to understand the industry and your specific area around you with your competition so that we can offer you the best opportunity to be seen on Google. And that's through keyword research and making sure that you where you should be located and ranking for. Right?
Yes.
So through that, we're going to look at your on-site, we're going to look at your website, and through that, we'll provide on-site recommendations with simple changes that you can make so that you become relevant to the terms and industries that people are looking for. After that, in month 2, we're going to go and make sure that your Google My Business profile is optimized, that you have your name, address, and phone number properly set up throughout the internet and trusted websites. That's with your local citations. We'll also create a variety of links pointing back to your website that help support the relevance of your website in your industry. We're going to try and create copy if you need it. If you have a website that doesn't have a lot of copy, we're going to make sure that you have enough to support your overall brand and the services you provide. And then, of course, your on-site recommendations will need to be implemented by month 2. All of that is just setting us up for month 3, 4, and 5, where we're creating a variety of links that come back to your website that support all of the changes we made, and you should start to see changes in month 3, where you might go from either, if you're on the 10th page, you might make it up to the 3rd or even the 2nd or the 1st. It all depends on how competitive it is in your location.
And over this period of time, Nick, it is really like you know, a recipe almost. There are dozens and dozens of features, but not every feature is used for every business, and it's that technology helping to guide the optimization.
Exactly. I often like to think of SEO as we are a garage, right? And your website is like a car. We can receive any car and we can make it roadworthy. So there are specific things that we might need to fix that might be different for each car or customer that we receive. But in the end, we always, majority of the time, 93% of the time, we reach page 1 as long as we complete these steps in month 1, month 2, and month 3. And it really requires the customer's communication and making sure that they're helping us give them the best opportunity to be found on Google.
Great. Nick, I just wanted to thank you for joining us. I think this has been a fresh take on SEO today and giving us an opportunity to really explore how this opportunity can help our small business owners. It's all about being proactive and making sure that your website is the most attractive to Google, right?
Exactly, and you are the answer that people are looking for.
And ultimately, this is a real thing, right? So SEO is a real service to help small business owners optimize their presence to be found online. So Nick, for those that are viewing today, we have a very special offer. So as a part of our Yellow partnerships with Qantas Business Rewards, for customers that are viewing our webinar today and that take up an SEO service, we have an exceptional bonus offer here. So for customers, they can earn up to 30,000 Qantas frequent flyer points by signing up for a new SEO service today. So not only will you have a well-tuned and optimized website, you can treat yourself to some treats via the Qantas Rewards program as well. So thank you, Nick, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Wanted to thank all of our customers today for joining us. And of course, it's Friday, so I wish you well. Have an enjoyable weekend, and I hope the team from Yellow can help you optimize your website and get you achieving your business goals soon. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you.